I feel lovely. I can't quite describe it. I feel chirrupy.
Chirrupy? I don't ever recall feeling chirrupy.
I'm afraid you never will, my dear Ames. There isn't a chirrup in you.
Isn't it funny? Now I feel entirely different. I know what it is. I know. It's coming over me. That Persian cat feeling. Meow. Meow.
What's a Persian cat feeling? I'm sorry, but it's getting late.
It's never too late for a cat.
You're lying there in bed reading that wonderful travelogue in the Daily Mail and wanting to go places and wondering if you ever will. And all of a sudden, you're a cat and you start to climb and you leap out of the window into the fog. And suddenly the fog lifts and it isn't London, it's Baghdad. Next week, I'll be in Cairo. Oh, it's so wonderful to be a cat and read the Daily Mail.
Look, I implore you. Good heavens, there they are now. Please. Yes?
On there.
Oh, I feel so wonderful, so free.
Cluny Brown, what are you doing here?
Uncle Arn.
What does this mean? What are you doing on that there couch?
I've been plumbing, Uncle Arn. Just plumbing.
Cluny Brown, has something happened I ought to know about?
I don't think so.
Lucky I found the address wrote down or I might never have looked you in the face again.
I assure you, Uncle Arn.
Name's Porritt. Mr. Porritt. Liquor, too. Giving strong drink to a young girl, that beats all. I've half a mind.
You haven't met Mr. Ames, the host.
I've no wish to meet the individual.
Oh, but Uncle Arn, these gentlemen have been so nice to me.
There you go again, taking advantage of it. You don't know your place. Get your things here. You never will know your place.
But Uncle Arn, what is my place? What's anybody's place? What's your place? If you want to feed nuts to the squirrels, who am I to say, do you?
That settles it. You're going into service, you are. You're going to be a domestic in a decent home. Come along.
Oh, by the way, I haven't paid you yet. Will this do?
You can't buy me off with your £50 note. Come, Cluny Brown.
Thank you, gentlemen, for everything.
A British subject calling a symbol of the empire filthy. Permit me. Filthy? I differ with him emphatically, Ames. When the lower classes start throwing away pound notes, the upper classes better look out.
I dare say.
Perhaps you wonder who I am, or maybe you don't care. But I spend a great part of my time on the fringes of Mayfair. I'm never asked to parties, but I go to them just the same. And I'm known to everybody.
Why do people go to cocktail parties?
Because people give cocktails.
Why do people give them?
Because people go to them.
It's a vicious circle, like perpetual notion.
Oh, it's depressing. Parties and people laughing with Europe on the brink.
Yes, Hitler and Vienna and Prague, and people go around having fun.
Oh, I'm so tired of hearing Hitler and Mussolini and...
Betty, I'm surprised. You talk like a superficial girl who thinks of nothing but a pink and white complexion.
You seem to like it, until Hitler came between us.
Well, I still do.
Oh, intensely, Betty.
But you must realize we're on the verge of a war.
Well, then stop talking and do something about it.
I have. I've written a letter to the Times.
Well, then there's nothing to worry about.
Are you having a good time, Miss Green?
Marvelous, thank you.
Oh, Miss Cream, you know, when I first saw you, I said to Archie, there's Miss Betty Cream. And then I said, no, there can't be Miss Betty Cream. But after all, there's only one Betty Cream, isn't there?
Everyone makes such an absurd fuss over her. She's simply unbearable.
She's got the worst manners of any girl I know.
She's cold, conceited, and callous. 2 martinis, please.
Yes. Have you, asked her to marry you lately?
Day before yesterday.
What'd she say?
She said no, as usual. She doesn't stop to think. She hasn't any brains.
If she turned me down once, I don't think I could ever ask her again.
I don't think she ever will get married.
Perhaps she doesn't want to.
What else can she do? What's going to become of her? She's no talent.
She has beauty.
Well, beauty doesn't mean much.
It helps.
Perhaps. If you ask me, I feel sorry for the girl. I think she'll go on and on having a good time and wind up as one of those haggish females who get up charity balls.
What a pity.
But I've made up my mind. I shall ask her once or twice more, and I shall wash my hands of her. Cheers.
Cheers.
Found something interesting. A man.
The place is full of men.
But this one's in bed. Come and have a look. There he is.
Well, no wonder he's in bed. He's squiffed.
Good heavens.
What's the matter?
What is it?
It's Belinsky.
Not Adam Belinsky.
Yes, Adam Belinsky.
Is he a gangster?
Don't be an idiot, Betty. He's a Czech.
He's a great man. He's famous.
Well, whatever for?
He's a writer, professor at Prague. One of Hitler's worst enemies.
That's why the Nazis are after him. He's probably just one jump ahead of them now. I wonder how he got to London.
The underground, no doubt.
What a man.
He looks exactly like his pictures. Better, in fact. Nobler. Much nobler.
More serene.
And he snores.
What difference does it make? He's a great liberal. For that matter, I snore myself.
So do I.
Well, I don't, and I'm as liberal as either of you.
Hello.
Hello?
We know who you are. You can trust us. I'm Andrew Carmel.
I'm John Fruin.
How do you do?
I'm Elizabeth Cream.
I know. You are honorable, and you don't go everywhere.
We don't mean to pry, but you are in trouble.
Aren't you, Professor?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact. Unless a miracle happens, I'm a man without a home.
Oh, that beast, that terrible beast Hitler.
I wonder if I've made myself clear.
Perfectly. But the time for talk is past. We must do something.
Yes, what can we do about him?
Gentlemen, I'm afraid you are a little confused.
Oh, yes, we know we are. There's so much muddled thinking.
That's why we're glad you're here. Oh, put us straight, will you, Professor?
I have an idea. Let's scram out of here.
A step in the right direction.
All right. But it must be somewhere safe. After all, the professor is our responsibility.
Definitely. Have you any suggestions, sir?
Well, I should say the Ritz is a good, safe place.
Splendid. Let's go.
It takes a lot of nerve for a man in his position to show himself at the Ritz.
Thanks for a delightful evening.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh, it's been a privilege.
You must come to tea with Andrew and Fruin one day soon.
Thank you, Miss Cream. Thank you all.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, Professor. Professor, are you safe here?
Are the people in this house trustworthy?
Tell me, who lives here?
Who lives here? People who have to.
Professor, I beg your pardon for bringing this up again, but since you have honored us with your confidence...
Since you have...
Professor, we both feel that the 20 pounds you were gracious enough to accept is most inadequate.
Most.
Would you reconsider and take 50? We'd feel much better about it.
Oh, much better.
My dear friends, I beg of you. I need 20 pounds, and you were good enough to lend me 20 pounds. And that's all.
We don't want to seem rude, Professor, but 50 pounds...
Oh, we frankly don't see how you can accept less.
You mustn't press me any further. I insist.
We understand perfectly, Professor.
Perfectly.
However, should the occasion arise when I need 30 additional pounds, you will give it to me and nobody else.
Is that a promise?
My word of honor.
Oh, we appreciate this.
Good night.
Good night.